This is about Module 5 in the Community Risk Reduction course. This is our last module. I'm looking at my computer over here. You'll find a lot of information. I'm a very linear thinker, and so I want things in order. And I've probably changed the order of this about 10 times because it's not really linear. You got to do it all kind of at the same time. So you'll find in Module 5, there's information about pilot testing, your program. And I think recently, and I'm going to look back, there was one of the NFA coffee break sessions that talked about pilot testing, and I posted that information on the announcements, but I'm going to try to move it to back here so you can see it as well. You know, pilot testing is very important because it's going to help you uncover things that you may not have thought about, issues that arise, opportunities, those kinds of things. There may be resources that you need that you didn't think about. So pilot, it's, you know, are your interventions, are your strategies making a difference, or did it work? You know, even on a short-term basis. And so also there's information about the whole aspect of marketing. And I believe we talked a little bit about, let me look over here real quick, pull this up. And it's called, you know, we call this review and modify. But there's marketing your program. I put some information in there about social marketing. Don't confuse social marketing and social media. Social marketing is a concept where we take marketing principles and apply them to a social issue. Public health has done it really well, looking at smoking prevention, cancer prevention, obesity, those kinds of things, where they take these the marketing principles for products and apply them to a social issue. So don't confuse those two things. We can certainly use social media to market and our problem, our program, and those other things, but don't confuse those two things. So there's some information there about how you can market, why you need to market. It's all about providing information and knowledge to people. There is a discussion assignment there as well about marketing. And then the next section talks about evaluation. And this is I'm one of my hot buttons, I guess, in that I believe that throughout the years that I did fire and life safety education, I did a really poor job of evaluation. And so we need to really truly evaluate what we're doing. We need to, and you'll find lots of information in that module, and I want to encourage you to look at it all. There's some information in that module from the Vision 2020 website that we have looked at before. There's a couple of articles that were written by a really a fire chief he's from up north somewhere. I can't come up with the place right now. But anyway, Marty King, who I know very well, and he does a great job with that. And so how you're going to do your evaluation. And, you know, even things such as evaluating your action plan. How did that work for you? Was our timetable correct? Were we on schedule? Were there things that we forgot? So that's the bigger piece of this unit. And your writing assignment is going to be, I haven't put the instructions in there yet, but I'm going to do that right now. It's going to be, of course, how you're going to evaluate your program. We want you to develop an evaluation plan, what you're going to look at. And keep in mind, you may be thinking right now, well, of course, if the number of cooking fires go down, then my plan worked. Or if the number of injuries or deaths is reduced, then it worked. But you'll find as you go through this information that there's different levels of evaluation: formative, process, impact, and outcome. And so I want you to address all four of those areas in your evaluation plan. You know, process: how many people did we see? How many programs did we conduct? How many smoke alarms did we install? That kind of thing. impact. And I'm not. I think I've done a mini lecture in there on this topic, so I'm not going to go into it all right now because you'll hear it again and again and again. But all 4 levels are very important. Keeping in mind that a reduction in fires or deaths or injuries may be 5 years out. That is your true outcome evaluation, and that's kind of a long distance thing before you can actually, get enough statistics to make it statistically viable or valid. So um, that's that. We're drawing this to a close. We've got our plan together. We've got our strategies, our implementations. We've got our action plan. Now we're going to talk about how we're going to pilot test it. We're going to look at that piece of it. Any modifications that may need to be done after a pilot test. How can you discover those, and how can you implement those? How we're going to evaluate on all 4 levels. And so that's going to be the next piece of your plan, and that's pretty much the end of your plan. And so then we'll have kind of a course wrap up, and that will bring us this semester, this class, to a close. If you have any questions about this last unit, about evaluation, like I say, I think it's so very important because I always thought, how can we evaluate what we have prevented? How do we know? But there's ways that we can evaluate what we are doing and the impact that that's having. And when we do that, we get more support, both internally and externally, in the community and within our own department. So as always, let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to reading your evaluation outlines. Thanks.